Family of 5 children caught up in what some are calling an adoption scam based in Utah wants their children back.
Well, they say they never intended to permanently give up their children and that they were tricked by the Americans. ABC4's Susan Wood shows us their appeal. Susan, much chance they'll get their kids back?
Well, that depends on the courts, Nisha. Those children could be in 5 separate families anywhere in the U.S. The birth parents in Samoa have no idea where they are. They say they were the victims of scam artists posing as humanitarians working for an organization called Focus on Children.
I want my children returned.
Aloise Sua says he and his wife did not intend to give up 5 of their children. They were told they'd be going to America to receive an education. Then they'd return to them at the age of 18. They signed the papers written in English, which they don't understand. Then they sent their children to a special adoption house in Samoa. They claimed they were told the children would stay there for 6 months before going to the U.S.
What happened when we went to check on our kids? They had already been taken away to America.
Under U.S. immigration law, a child is eligible for adoption if the parents have died, the child has been abandoned or deserted, or if a sole surviving parent irrevocably releases the child for adoption. The law was pointed out to a New Zealand reporter when she emailed the U.S. consulate in Wellington after talking to the Suas in 2004. Barbara Drever alerted the consulate to 2 couples who felt their children were taken away by agents from Focus on Children. She writes, "There appears to be misunderstandings on the Samoan natural parents' side. They say they believe that their children will return to them at age 18. But the State Department kept giving visas to Samoan children being adopted to U.S. families for another 10 months. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Utah says action was taken following those initial reports, but visas were still issued for a while. It wasn't until February 28th of this year that this indictment came down against 7 people who worked with Focus on Children.
I'm happy that people have been caught because these people were doing the wrong thing, coming to Samoa and tricking parents just like us.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says when the first sign of wrongdoing was revealed in Samoa, action was taken, but those visas were still issued for U.S. adoptions under close watch. Also new tonight, initially the U.S. Attorney's Office stated that nearly half of the children involved in these controversial adoptions had been returned to their Samoan parents. Well, I've just learned that only 1 child has been returned to Samoa. Nisha and Randall.
So, Susan, do we know at this point how many, visas have been issued to Samoan children for U.S. adoption since '04?
Since '04, no, because they're not saying, the consulate will not give me those numbers. In 2003, they released the numbers. They say 61, but no numbers since then. Very tight-lipped at this point.
Very interesting. Wow. Thanks, Susan.